Hello friends, Cheryl here with inkedpulp, and we're back with another Dephemerember. Man, these days just keep coming so fast. We're already on day 9. Alright, today's prompt is altered envelope and coffee mug stains. And as soon as I saw the altered envelope prompt, I immediately thought about something that is in my ideas journal, because I really love this idea. And it is, take all these out. It is a business size envelope that has been manipulated to, and then it glues down on the page. Did I leave that back open? Oh, I left even the back open, so you could even get one more pocket out of there. But you've got this and this. You've got a little side pocket here. Okay. And then you've got the back pocket. Now you do have one even behind the envelope if you really wanted to put something back there. I've got that one, which is the inside of the envelope, and then I've got this one. So 1, 2, 3 pockets with a potential for 4. All right, so that's what we're going to make today for the altered envelope. Okay, let's close this up. My new ideas journal. And let's get to work. So I've got 4 envelopes, which might be a little, well, it's probably going to be okay. So I've got 4 envelopes here. Now, I did not choose envelopes with windows because I didn't want to have to mess with the windows when I was, gluing and all that good stuff. So, step number 1, we're going to glue the flaps down. Now, one of the things that I did, I was playing around earlier with some different options. Here's one I made a little bit earlier with the coffee stains and the, isn't that cute? I actually cut the flap off of this envelope. And no, it took away one of the pockets if I did that. And I'll do one without the flap on it, and I'll show you what I mean. Now, I suppose with some creative paper piecing, I could have kept that other pocket, but for this project, it just wasn't worth it. All right, so on this one, I will cut the flap off, and I'll show you what that does. It takes away a lot of bulk, which I liked, because that's one less layer of, my hand is shaking, I can't get it on the crease. I suppose I could have got my paper trimmer out, but that would have been too easy. Or I could have got my straight ruler and a craft knife. That would have been too easy. Okay, this is going to be just fine. So I'll show you how this is different. This one's different than the others. So there's no flap to glue down on that one. And then this one. All right, so we're all glued down. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to fold this in half. Okay, I'm going to fold this envelope in half. And we'll burnish it down real good. All right, let's do that to all of these. Right. This is a really fun project. If you've never made these before, take notes because it's very unique and it's a lot of fun. All right, so I've got all these. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this down. And what you'll find when you fold it is that there's one little strip that doesn't get covered. So what we need to do is put let's do like book page or something neutral on there, and then we can do whatever we want with the rest of it. Let me get my pages out here. We can do that one sideways. And you don't need it to be super, you don't need to be super careful with it because this is going to fold down. Okay. So we'll do that one there. So let's see what else I have in here. Oh. I have some numbers. I'm looking, you guys. Okay, I've got that. And I love digging out of my scraps because it means that I'm using up something. And it feels really good to be using up something. And how about this one? All right, so next step in the process in our, hang on, I'm looking for my glue book. I had one out. Where did I put it? I'll just get another one if I can't find it, but where did I put it? Okay. We'll just get another one. I don't know what I was saying. I think I was saying that I'm loving this using up scraps and all right, so I'm going to put this down here and then I'll cut it off and then we'll wrap it around. Because the back will be glued down, so we don't have to worry about the back being covered. Okay, this happens to be the one with no flap, which is fine. Now, you could have cut the page to fit from the get-go. I didn't do that. I just decided to put it down. Now you do want to use fairly thin paper on this project because you've got lots of layers and you don't want it too thick. So that's gonna fold down like that. Okay. All right, actually I could have cut that off a little bit. I didn't need it quite that far in. But anyway, so that's what you want to do right along the edge. We'll do one more here, and then maybe I'll go offline and finish it up. I don't want these jagged edges here. I could have used a ruler and torn the edges. That's always an option. Then this paper is so thin. Paper cutter doesn't like to cut it. Okay. All right. All right, I'm not going to go in quite so far this time because I want to keep my extra paper and extra layers and bulk to a minimum. All right, so cut it about here. And then across here, big glob glue right there. And if they're not perfectly straight, it's not the end of the world. This was one of those pre-printed papers that came in the your collage, your creative studio. And their papers are always really thin. All right, so there are those two. What did I do with the other one that I just finished? So there are those two. I'm gonna go offline here for just a second and I'll finish up the other two and then I'll come back and we'll go to the next step. All right, they're all done. Now, ideally, you would let these sit and dry for a while. I don't really have time for that because when you fold them, they can buckle a little if they're still wet. The other thing I was going to mention is that like this paper is real crackle, it's very fragile. And this is a great project to use it on because it's all glued down, so it's not going to break. And if it cracks where it folds, you can embrace that and just ink it up and let it be a little rugged, or you could take a piece of washi tape and put down that corner. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the envelope and we're going to start down in this corner and make sure it there we go. Make sure it fits properly all the way across and then burnish it down. Don't worry, you're going to have a lot of little extra bits and pieces. And what I might do is this is not going to be the pocket, so I'm going to take a little bit of glue and just glue that down and glue that together. You could use glue stick. I'm going to put some or glitter glue in here. Oh, come on, you were just working 2 minutes ago. This stuff is so persnickety. Persnickety, is that a word you've heard in a while? I haven't heard that word in a long time. It's fun to bring back old words sometimes. Okay. Now you should work. So now this is the one where we cut off the, we're not going to have this little problem of this open tab on the other ones because there will be a flap there. Okay. Burnish that down real good. And you see that when we burnish it down, you have this little side bit here where it shows. And that's why we put that extra paper. I'm just going to glue this part of the envelope. Sometimes they don't glue the envelopes really well when they make them. So we have to go through and make sure everything is glued down well, so it doesn't cause us problems. All right, let's put this right here. Now, the amount of the little strip that shows can be different with each envelope because they're not all the exact same sizes. And we go again. Corner's not glued down. I just had an Amazon delivery. That was what that dinging was. See, now we have the flap here, so we don't have to worry about gluing down that open piece. So the flap doesn't lend, as long as you use real thin papers to decorate. The extra flap here doesn't add that much bulk. I don't worry so much about it. But if you are worried about it, you can take that flap off. You just have to glue a couple of extra places, and you're going to lose a pocket up here at the top. Because there's only one layer there. And when you glue it down, you can have the pocket going behind, but you're not going to have the front pocket because you don't have the envelope there. All right, so here we go. Here are our envelopes. Now, I don't glue anything down until I'm all done. Now, one thing we do have to do is let me get my bigger paper trimmer out here. We need to take off just a sliver at the top up here so we have a pocket. And didn't quite get it all the way. It's okay, we can just cut a little. I'll trim it the rest of the way. I was trying to get the tiniest sliver possible. Okay, there's that. And this one, and I'm just truly taking off just a tiny little sliver. I don't want to take off too much. I could have done this before I started folding and all of that good stuff, but I didn't. So now what this is also going to do, it's going to give you an opening. Oh, poo, come on. Open up. When I glued down that flap, I got part of the envelope. Now see here, it's coming up, so any place it's coming up, just dab a little bit of glue. What you can do here is you could put a decorated paper clip, because you're going to have where this flap is, this is going to be open as well because we just cut it open. So you could put a decorated paper clip down in there. I'll show you. And then this one, we don't need to open it because it's open. Now, here's the thing. Well, let me wait till I get there. So the next step is going to be to cover this triangle flap. And this is why I chose to stay really neutral on the front, because on those little strips, because I want to be able to do what I want on here. Now, I have got, this came to me as, I think it was Happy Mail, maybe? And I thought this would look really great. Maybe on this one. Oh, I cut it off too small. Dadgummit. I still have some left there. Let's see if I have another one I can use, and I could, let's see, is this one smaller? Nope. Okay, hang on. Let's try to find a different flower, and I'll use that on something else. Okay, so we don't want to really, oh, that's going behind. We're decorating the front flap. Cheryl, we're decorating the front flap. I have some wild looking origami papers, and they're really thin. And I'm wondering if any of these would be a good, ooh. So that's pretty. That's pretty. Let's put that one on there. Now, you can cut them down. That's your personal choice. As you see, when I cut down that last one, I inevitably cut them too small. And then I ruined a piece of paper because I can't use it. So I have started pretty much just putting the papers down and then cutting them after the fact. Okay, so there's that, and I just have to cut now. Okay. So there we go. That's what that pocket's going to look like. And let's see if we have another. I do have some other origami papers without being this wild patterns, but I also have a lot of scrap papers. So let's take a look here and see. Take a quick look through the scraps. I like that a lot. Let's take a quick look. See what we have in the scraps. The scrap edge. Okay, here are some that are like jelly papers for wipe-off pages. Let's see if our jelly prints have anything fun in here. That might be good for behind, but not for the front. Oh. That's kind of fun and different. Let's put that one down. I like that one. I like that one a lot. I don't know why I didn't get my glue book out, but I didn't. So let's go this way. I don't know if this was a jelly print or not. Actually, I think it was. I think I was trying some new and different things. All right. Okay, so there's that one. And there's that one. Let's see if we have some other more regular papers. And again, I'm looking for the ones that are thinner. I mean, they don't have to be, but I just like to keep, because when you put these in your journal, any bulk is just going to add to. It's not big enough. Let's look in this one. These all seem to be pretty heavy papers in here. We could put that on there. Have a tape measure across the bottom. Let's do that. Something different. And I am going to cut this square so that I can put it down in the corner. There we go. And then Well, actually, well, no, haven't done the back pages yet. All right, so how about if I get smart and put a glue book or glue page down underneath this? I'm gonna take off a little bit of that glue. I went over a little. Now, as far as decorating the fronts of these, you can, I didn't cut super straight, so I'm going to just line it up with the bottom, and then I can cut the side off. You can put stickers, you can put words, you can put people, you can put anything you want. Now it looks like this one might be, I left a little tiny tip up there, but that's all right. And I got some glue on the inside. Let me cut this down. We definitely don't want that glue to be inside or it'll glue the pocket shut. Yeah, you can decorate with anything your little heart desires. All right, so there's that, and then we just have this last one here. Let's see what I have. No, I don't want that. I'd love to have that, but it's not big enough. All right. Isn't this part of the fun, picking out the papers? How about if we put music behind this one? Find my book page bin. Let's see. There we go. These are from a hymnal. But we'll put that music paper behind it. Well, not behind it. Oh, see, I'm getting ahead of myself again. That I want to go back there. What do we want on the front here? It's a nice neutral green. Let's use that. Let's use it. Actually, nope, that's going behind. What am I thinking? You guys, I wish somebody would speak up and yell at me when I start to make a mistake. But that's not going there. All right. That one's going to go behind. All right. Oops. And then since we're on this one without the flap on it, I'll just show you how I It's really no big deal how I glue it down, but I'll show you. All right, and that's a little bit of glue on the inside here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. First I'm going to cut off the white edges here because I don't want that, and I also don't want the title of the song. I just want the music. All right. So we're going to put this inside here like this. Well, actually, I'm going to start it up here because that's where I had it. And on this one, and this is why I say you're going to lose a pocket, because if you have the flap on here like these, you have a pocket right in here, right? And then you have this pocket here, and then when you lay it down on the page, you can have a pocket in the back. We don't really have anything that comes all the way up to the top here, so, and I don't want to just use the music paper because it's too thin to, be the pocket. So on this one, even though it's less bulky, it's going to lose one pocket. And like I said, I could probably put another piece up there and make it sturdy. And I also thought about cutting the pocket off just half, leaving this one flat down and just cutting it off of this side. There are some things you could do, but I just glue the whole thing down. Okay. And then we'll cut off the excess. All right, I'm going to go through and pick out the papers that I want to use. That's really pretty. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I'm going to go through here and we'll pick out the papers and then I'll go offline and glue them all in because you guys don't have to sit and watch all of that. So, let's see what we've got in here. Got a lot of really heavy paper, and I don't want that. Oh, look at this one. This is like a stamp-off paper. Come on. Extra glue. That could be pretty in there. I'm going to put that one in there. And then let's see. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pause you guys and I'll just surprise you with the papers that I picked because I'm going to have to look through them and pick them out, and that's no fun for you guys to sit and watch. So I will be right back. All right, you guys, I'm back. Here's what I did. We've got that music paper behind the green. Now, one thing I will tell you, when you're gluing in here, and I don't know if you can see this, but I don't have the paper completely up to the line, and you definitely don't want it over the line because the crease, because you don't want to have to bend the papers in the crease because that's just going to add more bulk and it'll be hard to do. So my crease line is right here. You see where it is, but then you see where my paper comes. It's almost up to the line, but not quite. So there's that one. That's a wild one, isn't it? I love this one. So I took the same paper that was on the little flap on this one, and I used it as the background here to go with this one. And I love that. It's so neutral. And then there's the pink one with my stamp off paper. All right, so the next thing we need to do is cut some holes here for the pockets. And I'm just trying to, it's not really lined up in the middle of the pocket, is it? I was thinking about, there, that one's better. I was trying to line it up just between, the place where that folded over, but then it throws it off kilter. And the way I eyeball it, I put this, and that's why I do this upside down. I put it in here, and then I look at the edges, and I see how far away from the edge it is here, and I just try to get it to where it's pretty close to the same. So there are those. Now, if you're going to ink it up, you need to do it before you glue it down, because if you glue it down, you're not going to be able to get to this edge here. So, I'm not seeing my, there it is. And I'm using walnut stain on this, a little bit darker. But let's go around it real quick. I'll do one, and then I'll probably pause you again. There's one lady I watch, and when I say this, you'll probably know who it is. She inks everything. She loves to, ink it, and she doesn't ever pause her videos. I don't think her camera or her phone will let her pause. And so anyway, whenever it gets to the part where she's inking, I hit that 10-minute, how you can fast forward 10 seconds, not 10 minutes. You can fast forward 10 seconds. Well, I do that every time, and I usually have to hit it 2 or 3. It depends on how many things she's inking up. And I'm not going to name any names, but y'all probably know who it is. And I love her to death, and I love her videos. I just don't want to sit there and watch her ink everything. So I'll get this one, show you what it looks like. And then, see, I don't need to do that bottom one because that's going to glue down, but there it is. All inked up. Doesn't that look nice? All right, let me pause you, and then we'll come up and we'll decorate 1 or 2 of these. All right, I'll be back. All right, everybody, we're back, and we're all inked up and ready to go. So, like I said, the only difference between, and I think this is, nope, that's gotta, trying to find the one where I cut off this one. So the only difference between this one and these other ones is that these other ones have an opening right here. They have the back of the envelope, where this, on this one, this sheet right here is stuck right to the envelope and there is no back. Okay, so that's the only difference between those two. So, all right, next thing we have to do is put on our coffee stains. And I need to find what I did with my stencils. The only way I really have, I didn't want to get a real coffee out and bring it in here and have to mess with coffee. So I So this one is the coffee mug stain, which is actually the mug. It says coffee mug stains, but I'm going to assume that, yep, there we go. I'm going to assume that we can use some of these splatters too. There we go. So there's some coffee stains, and then we'll put something over that. On this one, I don't know if we'll see anything on the front of this. I think we may have to put our there we go. And we'll put a little bit of this one. Down here. There we go. And this one, there we go. And we'll put a little bit of this one down here. There we go. There's our coffee stains. I'm not going to put anything up there. Okay, on this one, once again, this is really dark, so I'm going to have to put my coffee mug stains. Make them going off the page. And I'm using walnut stains, so I guess ground espresso would have been the better choice there, but that's okay. We have that one. And then we have that one. Okay. Let's try to put something down here in the corner. I don't know how much we'll see of it, but let's try. Oh yeah, we can see that. All right, so there we go. We've got all of our coffee stains. We didn't put any up here. There we go. All right, there's all of our coffee stains. So now we want to decorate, and I still don't glue them down quite yet because if I want to put something back here that kind of peeks out or something here that peeks out, I can't do that if it's all glued down. So let's take a look. Let's look at this blue one first. And I have got what might be. I've got some blue and white, but it may be too much on here. Let's see. Let's see if I have anything that's small enough to maybe put a blue and white flower down here. That's pretty. How about if we put that on there like that? I kind of like that. Let's do it. like to hem and haw over things, although I do sometimes. If I see something that looks like it's going to work, then we're just going to do it and not spend all day thinking about it. Oh yeah, that's pretty. There. So there's that. Now, we could leave it just like this because a tag is going to go in here, and we've got the copy stains on the back. So we could leave it just like that, or we could put one on here that just kind of peeks out from the side. Let's look at this one really quick and see if we like that. You guys know I love my rub-ons. If we put that one just kind of peeking out up there at the top. I don't think I like that. I think it needs to be something longer that goes more the length of. But let's keep going on some other ones, and then I may come across something that works on this. I got the blue. And I don't want to over-decorate them. I mean, we could put a little piece of lace down here, but I honestly think with all the blue flowers up here and this wild blue pattern, I might put a little label down here. Let's look at the label book. Number 8. Nope, that's too big. Too big. That's a number 7. It's got to have something behind it. Hang on. If we had a little blue, a little one. If I had just a, label that kind of went around that, but I don't. All right, so let's see, what do we want to put behind that? How about just a little bit of book page? How about a little bit of book page? Something fairly light. Not going to be the right shape or size. Ah, there we go. How about number 7? Down there like that. And I like that kind of dipping down, but I need to take a little bit more off. All right. Here we go. Fast forward me. Give me about 10 seconds and I'll have this thing done. I'm not going to... Oh, yeah, maybe I am. I was thinking maybe I didn't need to... Boy, my hands have so much glue on them. They're a mess. Oh, I let you sit too long, didn't I? I love having this stuff just all piled around me. Before I put this number 7 on there, because I'm not actually thrilled with it, I want to see in this little pack, there are some, like this would be really cute if it didn't have the red rose on it. Oh, how about this? How about... So I do reserve the right to change my mind. How about that right down there? I still think it needs a little book page behind it. Oh no, I'm not sold on it now. I'm getting too wishy-washy, aren't I? Too wishy-washy. Now, what I was thinking back here is I might put a dragonfly. If I have one that's not too big, let's see about this guy. And then we'll move on, because I could sit here all day and play around with decorating. And I'm not going to add any laces or anything like that, although I certainly could. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta like that. You gotta like a good dragonfly. Ah, look at that. Perfect. All right. Now, let's go on to the next one. Let's look at this one and see what do we want here. I have got, oh, these little guys are down here. I like these little guys that I have that I cut out. I didn't realize I had brought them down. I was doing some fussy cutting upstairs, and I had nope. I need the littler. Oh, that guy works. That guy works. Let's put him on there. And then I've got a pile of books. I've got a sticker with a pile of books. A sticker or a rub-on, I don't know which. There. We'll put him on there. All right, that'll go right down there. And then this little guy will go on here. Oh, isn't he just adorable? All right, there's that. And then I have oh, these are rub-ons again, but these are from Dephemerember. We're going to go over the hour today, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, because I got to get these done. Not quite big enough, is it? Not quite big enough. I have these, but they would need like a table or something to sit on. Let's see. What else do we have that we could put back there? We could put another dragonfly. Ooh, or we could put something like this. And I haven't done any stamping on this stuff either, so I was hoping not to have to do that this time. And again, this is going to be hidden by whatever tag goes in there, so I don't know that we have to have a whole lot back here. Okay. All right, you guys, on these last two here, I'm going to go ahead and glue them down. So I show you how we glue them, and then I'll finish decorating, and the thumbnail on this will be the the thumbnail will be the finished picture of everything. So let's look at gluing them down. So this is a pocket going in this way. So all we have to do here, already, I just unclogged that like 2 seconds ago. Okay. Okay. And then this one is also going to be a pocket this way, so now when you start folding papers, you know, they never stay perfectly lined up. Like I got one, this down here is hanging down a little bit lower. If you want to go along and cut all those so they're perfectly straight, you certainly can do that. I just don't think it's that necessary. So there's that one. And then let's glue this one together. It's amazing how just 4 pieces can take so long to finish. And I can start this video uploading and then finish working on these, and maybe it'll be ready by the time Alright, so there's 2 decorated, and then here's one that I did earlier today. So there's some that are decorated, and then we have 2 more that are not decorated that I'll work on, but I'm already over an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one. I'll probably put a flower behind this, like I did on this one. And then I don't know what here. We'll figure something out. So I've got these 2 to finish. And then I've got these that I did today. So there are the, see, and here's my coffee stains here and here. There are the altered envelopes and the coffee mug stains. All right, folks. Thank you all for being here. Sorry this one took so long, but that's all right. We got her done. And I will catch you. We'll be off tomorrow, but I'll see you back on Thursday. Bye.